Who would you like to see next when you step into the octagon?
Everybody. I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
Not many people can take the UFC by storm the way Khamzat Chimaev has. With almost a mythological quality to him, the Borz, Chechen for Wolf, traveled to Sweden to provide for his family, and in the process became one of the most popular mixed martial artists on the planet. A UFC debut consists of 3 wins in 66 days, a UFC record, a first-round submission over a tried and tested kickboxer after almost retiring due to an extreme bout with COVID-19. Now defeating gifted grappler Gilbert Burns after being brought to his absolute limits at UFC 273, he finds himself on the cusp of a world title. But the journey to stardom has its price, a toll not many people can relate to. Welcome to Sportskeeda MMA, where we will share with you some facts you may not know about the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev. Number 5. He treats UFC fighters like childhood school fights. What keeps the UFC universe hooked? Chimaev's dominant fighting style surely does. The Borz is an active wrestler who settles for nothing less than a definitive finish. A man with nerves of steel, who seems to relish the fact that nobody can hold a candle to his octagon generalship. And Chimaev has said himself that he doesn't get nervous before fights. He describes the energy of walking out in UFC shorts in front of tens of thousands of fans as unreal, a mind state that allows him to completely forget about the world around him and focus on the art of destruction. In his childhood, Chimaev described his emotions of getting into a school fight the way a savage warrior charges into battle. If a fight happens, here I come, and this mentality is obvious in the way he walks out at every one of his UFC fights. He doesn't even remember getting the jitters. Fighting is just a natural thing to him. Number 4. The difference between his UFC and real-life personality. What fans may not realize about UFC fighters is, outside the octagon, they are some of the nicest people. The same goes for Khamzat Chimaev, although if you're a fan who only watches his fights, you might think differently about a fighter who picks up his opponent, has a casual conversation with UFC President Dana White at cageside, proceeds to choke him unconscious, and then scream at a sold-out Etienne Arena that he's the king and he's here to kill everybody. But what do you expect? Fighters need that type of aura around them. They need to demonstrate to their opponents that they are not to be played with inside the octagon. Khamzat Chimaev not only has cultivated this savage persona, inspired by watching Conor McGregor vs Jose Aldo while on a work break in 2015, but he did so while making it look like a common desk job. That was until he fought Gilbert Burns. After his humbling brawl for the ages at UFC 273, we saw Chimaev go to decision for the first time in his MMA career. Fans could catch a glimpse of the respect generated from a fight like this. Backstage, Chimaev approached an exhausted Burns who was laying down on a stretcher and shared with him nothing but loving words. "Thank you for everything, brother. We do this for our families, and don't think I don't like you. We just do our work. I love you guys. I saw your family. I've seen your kids before. It was hard to fight you after that. I love you, brother. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Good fight." Number 3. His reputation preceded his UFC debut. Even before his breakout year in the UFC, Chimaev's name was in the MMA ethos for quite some time. Rumors circulated about a fighter from Sweden who dominated everyone in the gym. All Stars Training Center in Stockholm is home to fighters like Alexander Gustafsson and Ilir Latifi, UFC veterans who have fought like champions. These guys swear by Chimaev's level of physical fitness, cardio, and work ethic, which came from an early age as Chimaev started wrestling at the age of 5. In 2017, 3 years before Chimaev's debut, former UFC fighter and commentator Brian Stann was once asked at a press conference if there was any exciting new prospects that had a UFC career in their horizons. Stann did not hesitate to mention Chimaev, who by reputation alone would make waves in the UFC. Chimaev hadn't even made his amateur debut by then. That's insane. The UFC's number 5 ranked light heavyweight Anthony Lionheart Smith also heard the myths and legends surrounding this unknown force. Smith heard stories of Chimaev ragdolling Ilir Latifi and Gustafsson on the wrestling mats. Let's remind you all that Gustafsson went toe-to-toe with the great John Jones, who Chimaev considers the GOAT. His UFC rise to stardom only brought substance to these legends. Number 2. His relationship with RAMZAN KADYROV. Recently, there have been many discussions about UFC fighters' connections with notorious figures, and we aren't talking about Conor McGregor. Just this year, we saw welterweight Monir Lazez sing his praises for an Irish mob boss with a $5 million price on his head from the US government. Now, Khamzat Chimaev's relationship with the head of the Chechen Republic, RAMZAN KADYROV, has been called into question by many MMA journalists. KADYROV is a loyalist of Russian President Vladimir Putin and has been accused of numerous human rights abuses. Chimaev and KADYROV have been filmed sparring together, greeting each other as brothers would, and even receiving gifts, notably a Mercedes-Benz that Chimaev crashed a few months later. But what not many fans realize is that KADYROV has given gifts to other popular MMA athletes such as Maxim Grishin, Saeed Nurmagomedov, and lightweight GOAT Khabib Nurmagomedov. There are those who believe that Chimaev's public support of KADYROV, especially now in the context of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, is a direct provocation. And there will be those who believe that Chimaev is simply abiding by the life he grew up with, supporting his country and those who govern it. Whatever the case may be, Chimaev has never directly commented on the relationship other than his public social media remarks, maybe signifying that he isn't as interested in politics as some may be. Number 1. He fights for his family. No matter what opinion you may hold about Chimaev, there are fundamental human reasons for his commitment to the sport of mixed martial arts, his undying need to demonstrate excellence in the octagon, and that would be his family. Chimaev isn't the most open book about his past, only sharing some of the broad ideas about his life growing up. But like most people from Chechnya and surrounding countries, they have lived through wars. And it's no secret why a regular fight is normal to Chimaev. He moved to Sweden for better living conditions and to fulfill his dream, not just of becoming a UFC fighter, but to take care of his family. Chimaev said his mother at times would wait for her children to finish eating and then take the scraps for herself. His mother's sacrifices instilled in him a great sense of discipline to make sure she never had to sacrifice again. Now he's the number 3 welterweight in the world, 5 post-fight bonuses in just as many fights, successful business ventures in crypto with Block Asset and beyond, having his own custom NFTs with close friend and fellow UFC fighter Darren Till, and now a household name in combat sports. Now he has the pound-for-pound king in his sights, Kamaru Usman. It's safe to say Khamzat Chimaev has done well by his family and has given fans more than a few reasons to keep watching MMA. And we hope we gave you more than a few reasons to keep watching Sportskeeda MMA. If you like this video and want to see more, subscribe to Sportskeeda MMA on YouTube and follow our social media accounts for all MMA related content.